Today I'm going to explain a little bit about the definition of disease and the risk factors for the digestive system diseases. The definition of disease: the disease it's an imbalance inside the body thanks to an external factor that can affect in a negative way how our body develops in the day. These are presented a lot of times thanks to symptoms that are like signals that presents before the disease is diagnosticated. Also, the risk factors for the digestive system diseases are, for example, in pregnancy, the hormones that the body start making can change a lot of things in the consume of calories and food and all those type of things of the body. Also, psychological factors that can affect us, for example, the teenagers that have all these problems with the autoesteem and all those things that can change how we consume food and the correct way of consuming it. Also, another thing that almost no one talks about is the socioeconomical factor, because if you're not able to buy good products or good food, you're gonna consume processed food and all those type of things that are not the best option for you to consume as a human, right?
Okay, so we already know about bulimia and anorexia, right? But I'm gonna talk about the risk factors of these diseases. They are divided in three big branches, okay? There are genetic factors, psychological factors, and social factors. First of all, talking about genetic factors, it depends on the metabolism of the person, of the patient. Because some people is used to eat a lot and a lot and a lot of food and remains in the same weight, but another people eats less food and they could be overweighted or in a weight more heavy, so this is something that varies in every type of people. It depends on your genetics and in your parents, and it's something complicated, but that's it. It depends on how were you born. And then talking about psychological, this is about the people oneself. So it's what that person tend to do, and what do they think and how do they feel. For example, there is this kind of people that doesn't feel comfortable with their height even when they are in a good weight. So this is also affected by the social media and the social groups, but we are talking specifically about the person. Then talking about the social factors, it is really complex because there's a lot of things to consider. Because first of all, the culture here is not the same as in another country, and also it depends on the how available is the food in the moment. For example, here in Mexico, the price of the food decreased, so it started to be easier to acquire food, and in a consequence, the obesity index in Mexico increased. And also depends on the people around you. For example, there is some people that are constantly being reminded that they are eating more than they should, or they are weighing more than they should, and not always is that the case. Sometimes it's just how they should look and how they should act, but people say that it is incorrect. So people who suffer from that tends to start eating less and eating less because other people is reminding them that they shouldn't be looking like that or to weight so much, why they should. So this is a big problem because it depends on society, and obviously it is not the same in this state and in another state and in another country, because every country has its own uses, its own culture, and its own food availability. So we have to know that we are in a very big planet with a lot of different people and with a lot of different cases.
The three most common nutritional diseases are anorexia, bulimia, and malnutrition. Anorexia is a voluntary restriction about food intake because of the fear of gaining weight. Anorexia is most common in females than in males, and this can cause hair loss and dry skin and dry hair. People with anorexia commonly have problems and have an alteration in their perception of their bodies and in their weight, even if they are underweight. And this can cause also depression and fatigue. Then we have bulimia. Bulimia is when a person is binge eating and then they want to lose this weight by making exaggerated exercise or taking laxatives and also vomiting. And this third can cause problems in the larynx and problems in the with the teeth. And people with bulimia has an altered perception of their body, and they are always by looking ways for lose this weight even if they are in their correct weight. Then we have malnutrition. Malnutrition is when you don't have a good absorption of the proteins and nutrients in your body. This is divided into undernutrition and overnutrition. Overnutrition is when you eat a lot of food and your body can process good the food, so you accumulate fats, and this can cause diabetes, high blood pressure, and higher triglycerides, and also the death. And then we have undernutrition, that is when you are in the BMA, your BMA is under 18.5 and has similarities with anorexia because it's also a restriction of food intake or because you don't have interest in food. And this can cause the similar symptoms as anorexia. And some treatments for these three diseases are taking a diet plan and taking medical and psychological help.
Some advices to the prevention of diseases in the digestive system. And the first advice is eat small frequent meals and have a balanced diet. And the next advice is do exercise or active your body like 3 times per week. And the last advice is drink plenty water and don't drink alcohol because that affects our digestive system. And that's all.